everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on this lovely Friday for Comics from the Future. This is our weekly preview video where we're going to tell you all about some new upcoming series and cool variant covers, other stuff we don't want you to miss. So thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Megan.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Jason. We're with infinityfluxcomics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee.
That's right. And before we begin today, please take a second to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram, whatnot, and all that stuff. We put out content on a variety of platforms every single day, so don't miss it. You know you want to keep seeing us every second of every day.
I believe when I checked, we are 8 subscribers away on YouTube from 1,700.
Nice.
Awesome.
So, yeah, nice round number on our way to 2K.
Very cool. So this week is a little bit different because it is 4th of July weekend on Monday, 4th of July. So there is no DC this week. It was a double DC week last week. So if you want to know what is coming out in the future, go check out our last week's show. But this week will be no DC, so a little bit lighter than usual.
All right, so let's begin with our featured comics of the week.
And I'm up first this week. This is Edge of Spider-Verse. So this is going to be a 5-part miniseries by Dan Slott and Mark Bagley. It's going to be, like I said, 5 parts, and it's going to introduce new heroes. We've already gotten a few previews of what those are going to be. And it's going to catch up with our classic favorite characters as well. Spider-Gwen, Arana, Spider-Man India. So that'll be cool. Each issue is going to have 3 different stories in it. And it's going to set the stage for End of the Spider-Verse happening later this year. So, as we know from the first Edge of Spider-Verse series, that's where we got Spider-Gwen, that's where we got Penny Parker, some very iconic, memorable characters whose value on these books is still big. So, we know already we're going to be introduced to a spider hero from the Scottish Highlands of 18th century. There'll also be, I think everybody's most excited for, Spider-Rex, as you can see on the cover here.
I was about to ask about, I was like, that's not Devil Dinosaur. It looks a little different.
So I was also just reading that we will have our first gay Spider-Man. So go check out all the news. There is a lot of new stuff coming with this Edge of the Spider-Verse series. So you might as well go ahead and subscribe to this whole thing. And we got a few different covers to show you for it as well. So this is our A cover, and this one is the BENGAL connecting cover. Then we have the blank cover. Create your own Spidey Diny. The Scotty Young cover. No text on this one, just the characters. And then we have the Spider-Rex variant. Like I said, we literally had a customer maybe 30 minutes ago sign up for this on their pool, and they specifically were very excited about the dinosaur Spider-Man. So
that Spider-Rex has to have some really tough webbing to hold like the entire dinosaur.
Think how
body.
horrifying that would be. You're in a city and you look up, and like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park is like zipping down. And it's like that is. You don't want to be where he lands.
At least it doesn't have the 8 limbs like a normal
Oh
spider.
gosh,
that's
horrible.
Very scary.
Okay, finally, this has been in the works for years and years. It ran into some legal trouble with the ownership of Predator, but Marvel is finally soliciting their new Predator series. This is actually supposed to come out back when the Alien series came out, which is about to restart at another #1. It's like they're trying to realign all of them. I'm sure they're trying to head towards like an AVP thing. But very excited about this one. This is by Ed Brisson, and art is by Kev Walker. It looks like the story, they're going to be, the first story arc is to be called Hunt, Kill, Repeat. And this is really cool because it is in the near future. A young girl sees her family killed by a predator, and now will stop at nothing to get her revenge against this predator. She's run out of resources and food and fuel. She doesn't care. She will stop at nothing to get revenge. So I think this is cool. It's one of those hunter becomes the hunted. Very excited. I think this is awesome. So this is our A cover. We have our David Finch cover right there holding Iron Man's head on the Avengers Tower. Pretty cool. We have the INHYUK Lee variant. Of course, we've got a Peach Momoko doing a headshot.
There's a lot you can see in those angry eyes.
Yeah. We've got the RAHZZAH variant, which is very horrifying. We've got, of course, a Ron Lim cover. And I love this one for how cross-eyed this little Scotty Young Predator is. He is adorable. I'm sure this will be like one of those little statues before long. It's just perfect for that.
That's almost like Mad Magazine cross-eyed. It's like Mad Magazine takes on the new Predator comic. And
Please let Scotty Young do a Lil Alien versus Predator comic.
I'm sure the cover will happen.
Yes,
for
yeah.
sure. Okay, so here is a comic for those of you who want to get ahead of something that's going to be optioned, okay? And I'll tell you why I say that. So this is from Scout Comics. It is Eternus #1. This is going to be a 7-issue miniseries, and it is from Andy Serkis, who I'm sure many of you know from all the movies he's been in and directed, and also Andrew Levitas, who is a multi-talented artist who also produces a lot of movies. So they actually haven't written this. They like conceived it and they passed it on to other writers who I looked into, and those other writers are also Hollywood screenwriters. This has Hollywood written all over it, all over it. So what is it about? It's based around mythology. It is set 30 years after Zeus has been murdered. And just things are in shamble for the gods. Apparently, like, sort of Christianity's taking over once he's dead. And Hercules has become just a drunk. He's doing really poorly. When all of a sudden somebody ransacks one of their temples. This is 30 years after Zeus is killed. And they think it might be the murderer. They have reason to suspect that. So it's up to Hercules to protect this 9-year-old priestess who is the only witness as to who did this. And so she's the only witness to who might be the murderer of his father. So that is the general premise for Eternus #1. But really, I think the takeaway was, this is going to be a movie or a show.
Yeah.
They are setting it up. That's the way to do it. You put it out there, you get your storyboards out there, you get your initial action from the readers. Comics, a lot of it is research and development these days. We're like the first line for things that are going to turn into bigger things. So that's what's going on. And luckily, just the one cover. When it comes to books like this where I want to buy a few, that takes some of the sticker shock off. So just the one cover. There is an incentive, but we don't go over those on the show. We just do the main and open order variants.
Yeah, it also has a really strong kind of elevator pitch. Like, you can get that concise, here's what happens, here's your main players, here's the time setting. I think it's great. And I love Andy Serkis, so if he's involved, I'm in.
All right, next up we have another reimagining the Marvel Universe with Peach Momoko. This time it is Demon Wars Iron Samurai. So Peach Momoko is going to transport us to another dimension filled with wondrous creatures, including sentient samurai armor, a mysterious panther person, and a snake with a snake-like monster with a deadly appetite. So, as if you saw Demon Days, X-Men, and all the stuff for Demon Days, Peach Momoko does a really good job reimagining the Marvel Universe and characters, and it's really charming and cool, and a little bit scary. Sometimes she likes horror as well, so...
Eyeballs. She loves those creepy eyeballs.
Our main character, Mariko, is going to find herself in the middle of a war between these characters, so hence the Demon Wars. So, lots of different covers for this one. Momoko does a cover, and she does another one later on, which we'll see. So this is the BERGARA variant. We have the GURIHIRU variant, who did a lot on the previous series as well. MALEEV. Another Momoko. She had to do 2 for her #1. And then we have the RAMOS variant.
I love that.
Little Civil War
Civil
homage.
War.
I was going to say, for
Demon
sure.
Wars, Civil War. The SCALERA variant. And finally the YAGAWA. So, hopefully these come out. Peach Momoko does she co-writes it and does the interior artwork, so it's a lot of work. I think we had to wait like a full year for Demon Days Saga to release, so either way, it'll be worth the wait. It's a 4-part miniseries coming out soon.
Yeah, with the previous series, I think it was every 2 months they'd release one, but they set it up that way.
Yeah.
It at least wasn't a surprise. It wasn't like last Ronin wait time
No.
or anything.
No, nothing's like that.
Okay, next up is a really cool one. This is Bloodborne Lady of Lanterns #1. You may have got a preview of this at Free Comic Book Day. There was a Bloodborne Free Comic Book Day book that had a few pages from this, but of course didn't give away too much. This is going to be written by Cullen Bunn, and art is by the longtime Bloodborne artist Peter Kowalski. And this one, it's kind of a new jumping on point, even if you haven't read the previous Bloodborne series. If you've just played the game, this will be great. It's we're going back to Yharnam, and this is going to be the Bloodborne story, but through the eyes of the citizens, which must be horrifying. With kind of their city being taken over by these like Lovecraftian creatures and everyone changing into these monsters. And there's some new hunters that show up in this as well, so we're going to get to meet some new characters. I really like this. I think it's really cool to be expanding the Bloodborne universe before Bloodborne 2 comes out at some point in the future. We know it's coming, we just don't know when. So, yes, I'm very excited about this one. This is our A cover, the YOON cover. We have our Harding B cover. We have our Worm. It's called the Worm variant. I don't know if the person's last name is Worm or because there's a big worm on it. We have our Kowalski. We have our Blank variant. And then we have this YOON FOC variant.
Sort of the theme of the show today has been eyes. We talked about the Peach and Momoko stuff, and then this came on like more eyes, and you're like, you have to see through the eyes of the citizens of Bloodborne. So we'll see how many more eyes we can get in this show. All right, so next up is a one-shot, but this is the first of a series of 3 one-shots starring Ms. Marvel. So this one is Ms. Marvel and Wolverine. It is going to be a 40-page oversized one-shot where a new threat has landed in New York City. I have to say, if I lived in the Marvel Universe, I would not live in New York City. I mean, I guess you get to see a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
The threats are always landing there. And so Ms. Marvel goes to investigate it, and she ends up having to team up with some of the X-Men, particularly Wolverine, to see what's going on. But it won't end here. There's going to be another one-shot where she teams up with Moon Knight to continue the investigation, and then a final where she teams up with Venom. And you can see they're both in the background of this cover. So that's as much as we know right now about Ms. Marvel and Wolverine. I think it's really cool when they do these, but it can be very difficult for customers to get them all because there's not a series for you to sign up. They're all number ones. So you may want to let your shop know that if they don't know, let them know you want all the Ms. Marvel one-shots. As I said, they're just 3 of them. I think they'll all be 40 pages. And so we got a few covers on this one to show you. So here is the Azrael variant. And then we have the Momoko variant. I see Venom eyes.
Yep.
And then here is the Ramos Predator variant. I like this one a lot.
I think this is interesting. I think this, because Predator is supposed to come out so long ago, was going to be a variant for Champions. Because you see the Champions team on there, and they're like, oh, it fits. You've got Miss Marvel there. We can push it over here. But I love it. Right. I think it's got a lot of humor to it.
I just like what they did with the light and the darkness.
Yeah.
Divided by the door. They're trying to keep out the darkness that is the Predator. All right, so next up, we're going to get to some other number ones.
All right, starting with Avengers Moon Girl. So I think last week or the week before we got Moon Girl and Miles. So this is, I think, 3 different one-shots that we're getting featuring Moon Girl. While Devil Dinosaur is missing, she is teaming up with other Marvel characters, this time with the Avengers. So a couple different covers here. Here's your cover A. Then we have the Lindsay variant and the Randolph Connecting variant.
Okay, so this is I forgot what we did the other day, but we did something kind of the acetate cover for a DC book. This is similar to that where we have to put our orders early for this, even though this is not the full solicitation for it. So this is for the Last Shadowhawk #1 3D version. This is a one-shot celebrating the 30th anniversary of Shadowhawk, one of the earliest image creations from Jim Valentino. And this is going to be exploring in the not too distant future, crime and corruption is running rampant, and who will take up the mantle of Shadowhawk to face this in this kind of Old Man Logan style Shadowhawk series. So we will be talking about the full thing with all of the variants on a future show. But if you want the 3D version, you have to put in your order early. Now, what I think is interesting, I was looking at the dates for this. So you have to order this one early. but it comes out after the main one comes out.
Hmm.
So you'll have a wider gap between this than the main cover. But still want you to know, because this one will probably be under-ordered. And plus, I love this cover with all of the classic Image first heroes.
And Invincible.
And Invincible, because, I mean, he's made his way into that pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
And so, for right now, just this one cover, but we will have more covers on a future show.
Okay, so next up is Vampirella Year One. So this follows after the last series, which was Vampirella Dracula. And so I didn't read that entire series, but it's funny, I was reading about this one, and it says that Vampirella is wanted for murder. And I was like, wanted for murder? She's a vampire. Isn't that what she does? Is that the first time she ever killed anyone, was this last series? So anyhow, so yes, Vampirella is wanted for murder. So she shacks up in an undisclosed location to hide out, where she starts wondering why she ever did even come to our world. She just hasn't had a good time. And I think that's where the Year One part of this comes in. You know, I think it's going to be a lot of her reflecting on, you know, her first arrival and what made her stick around until, you know, she finally murdered, in the last series, for the first time, apparently. All right, so our variant covers. Here is the Perio variant. And that's the first time she ever had blood, I guess, too.
She said, not too bad.
Here is the Derek Chu variant. I like Derek Chu covers a lot, so it's kind of cool to see him on a Vampirella. Here is the March variant. And here is the Boys Homage variant by McCree.
I thought that was pretty cool. A lot of people are doing the Year One thing right now. We've got Deathstroke Year One, Vampirella Year One.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Book of Shadows. This is actually from Valiant Comics and written by Cullen Bunn. Super interesting. I don't think he's written a Valiant book before that I know of. But as you can see on the cover, this book is going to feature Shadow Man, Punk Mambo, Eternal Warrior, Dr. Mirage. Basically, the supernatural protectors of the Valiant universe are going to unite for the first time to stand against a terrifying ancient threat. So, sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a pretty cool team up.
He has written Shadow Man and Punk Mambo.
Okay.
He does kind of the darker side of Valiant, which doesn't come around as often as like Bloodshot and Exo. But he really brings a lot of life to that universe.
There were a few years where Cullen Bunn was writing like 20 comics at once, so he had, you know, his finger in a lot of pies.
But he's fantastic, so I have no doubt that this will be a great read.
Mm-hmm.
We have the cover A from Albuquerque you just saw, and then the Book of Shadows cover B from Gorham.
Okay, next up we have another. I keep being surprised that they've got more of these in the chamber already to put out before they no longer can publish G.I. Joe comics, but we have G.I. Joe Best of Storm Shadow. So, like all the other ones, this will be collecting some of the rare and best Storm Shadow stories from not just IDW, but from all the publishers. I know there's some Marvel ones in the like the Snake Eyes one and everything. So if you want to read some of the best stories of Storm Shadow, this will be really good.
All right, so now we're going to get to cool covers and other comics. This is going to be some of the best variants of the week and issue number 2s and 3s, a new series that you may have forgotten to sign up on. So let's start with this. This is Ghost Rider number 5. This is the Magno variant for that. And in this, Johnny Blaze gets drawn into the world's largest motorcycle rally. Something makes him join that. But then it also says that he may end up in a race he doesn't want to win. That's where my mind was like.
The race to die, maybe.
Maybe. I'm not sure. So, but pretty cool seeing Johnny Blaze in a race. Like a flat-out race with other, you know, actual racers, not just demons. I'm sure some will turn out to be demons. But yeah, this is the Magno variant for Ghost Rider number 5.
We have Immortal X-Men number 5. This is the Art Adams variant. Art Adams has been doing a lot of really great covers lately, including some incentive covers that have gone up in price. So really cool to see an open order variant here for Immortal X-Men number 5.
Art Adams has done a lot of good Emma Frost covers in the past too. Like in particular, she's a subject he's really good at doing.
Okay, next up we have Iron Man number 22. This is the Baren's Predator variant, and in this one, Tony Stark is trying to stop Mandarin from returning to power, and he's going to be donning his stealth suit again, which It's a fan favorite suit of Iron Man's. So we have the Predator variant, and we have the Lozano variant where you see that really cool stealth suit.
Okay, this is the Yjildren Moon Knight number 14 Beyond Amazing Spider-Man variant.
That's a lot.
A lot of words to it. So this is the variant for Moon Knight number 14. In this is starting a new Moon Knight arc where he goes to war with a bunch of vampires. It's definitely very old school for Moon Knight. You know, he started off fighting vampires and creatures of the night. So, but here's this particular variant by Yildirim. Trying to get that name.
I wonder if this is going to be a new series of variants, the Beyond Spider-Man or whatever.
I would say so. Usually they don't title it if it's not like one they're going to continue with.
Next up is New Fantastic Four number 3 of the 5-part miniseries. In this, Wolverine, Hulk, and Spider-Man must face off against a demonically possessed Human Torch. Everybody is really enjoying this team, so check out issue number 3, and then we have the 2 variant right here.
Okay, next up we have the final issue of Star Wars Halcyon Legacy. This is just the A cover. It's super cool. And in this one, if you can't tell, Bosk is going to be the focus of it. So we have our A cover. We have our Gia Giordano variant. And our Slimy Connecting variant.
Okay, so this is the main cover to Spider-Man 2099 Exodus number 5. And in this, Spider-Man 2099 goes up against X-Men 2099. Now, you know, will they fight it out to the end or will they end up making friends? I don't know. But the X-Men actually are doing a whole different thing where they, they cross each other. So once again, this is the main cover. Here is the Lashley variant with that bordering he's done on all the previous issues. And here is the Ron Lim connecting variant.
I think there's supposed to be some new first appearances, too, of these future versions of the X-Men.
There have been. Every single issue, there's been something new. So, yep, I think you're right there.
And then we have issue number 4 coming out for Spider-Punk, and this is just a 5-part series, so this is the Clark variant for that.
That's a good variant. I like that a lot.
Okay, next up is Public Domain number 2. Just want to remind you about this series that came out this last week by Chip Zdarsky. Art and writing are done by him about a man who is a comic writer and has created a super popular character, but what does that do to the relationship with his family and his kids? Also, it's really funny in this how in the solicitation, Chip Zdarsky says, "Note to speculators, this is the first appearance of Sammy Sockham." Like, it's really playing into the meta of this comic about comics. So, really cool.
Okay, so this is the second issue for Beware the Eye of Odin. And in this issue, our heroes must find the earthen smiths of yore to be able to defeat the witch doctor that they're battling. So if you liked that issue number 1, here's your chance to sign up for the second issue of Beware the Eye of Odin.
And same deal with Sins of the Black Flamingo. This is issue number 2, 5-part miniseries. Number 1 just released this week. Thief that steals magical artifacts, looking fabulous doing it. So don't miss it if you like number 1.
And we got another cool cover for Spawn Scorched. And in this one, it just says, is this the end of the Scorched? Probably not, but, they're really testing their limits in this.
Okay, here's the Deladera variant for House of Slaughter number 7. So in this, the relatively new character, Edwin, he has to decide, is he going to try to bring in this creature he's found? He is not a fighter. He is more of like a scholar. Is he going to try to fight it himself, or is he going to wait for backup to arrive and possibly lose the creature? This creature might just get away and never see it again. So that's the choice he must make. This is the Deladera variant. And then there is going to be the body bag variant, which kind of says on the screen what's going on with that. You won't be able to see it because it's too gory for the shelves. But if you want it, I would definitely ask your store. We don't tend to order a whole lot more than what people ask for, because down the road, people don't know what they are. They're all bagged up. So.
And then we have Fox and Hare number 2. I feel like it's been a minute since the number 1 came out, but yeah, the technological thieves here for issue number 2. This is cover A, and then we have the cover B. If you like number 1, number 2 is finally coming out.
All right, time for the final segment of our show, other printings and graphic novels.
Starting with Amazing Spider-Man number 3, second printing. This has been a very interesting opening story arc, but we're still getting ever closer to that issue 900. So if you haven't caught up, this is your chance.
And Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood number 2 is going back to second print. This is a 4-issue miniseries. You probably know the Black, White, and Blood series. They're sort of anthology style. So this one's going back to second print with a Ryan Stegman cover.
And another second printing, New Fantastic Four number 1. If you missed out on it, it's getting a second print. Once again, 5-part miniseries here.
Yeah, I have to say, Marvel, they do a good job with the second prints. They are snappy to get those going the
At
second
least with the number
book
ones,
sells well.
but yeah.
Yeah.
Then we have a new facsimile for Tales of Suspense 57, the first appearance, origin, cover appearance, everything of Hawkeye.
All right, so they are all right. The series isn't over, but here's your chance to order What If Miles Morales, the trade paperback. This is going to be $15.99. It's going to collect all 5 issues. They've only got up to issue number 4 lately. This is where Miles meets other versions of himself. One where he is Captain America, one where he's Wolverine, one where he's Hulk, and one where he is Thor. And in the final issue, which hasn't arrived yet, they all team up. So if you want to get that trade, here's your chance to pre-order that now.
And then we have Avatar High Ground. This is a hardcover for just $25, and this is a direct prequel to the anticipated sequel film. So check it out if you're an Avatar fan. You know it's going to be good. Just $25.
I forget. Is this coming out in individual issues first, or
I don't think that's what the current series is called.
I didn't think so either.
So I think this is original.
Interesting.
It's an in between.
Yeah, it's a bridging.
I forgot what you call those. Yeah. Okay, this is really cool. This is a new original story hardcover graphic novel from Christopher Golden, who has written a lot on Hellboy and BPRD and all of that. Even co-wrote some of the Hellboy novels. This is about a Valhalla music festival where a band is the whole festival is commemorating a giant battle of the Vikings that has happened, but things start to go strange when people go missing, and the musicians start playing ancient songs they never knew how to play, and it looks like the a battle that they are celebrating is far from being over. Is the festival site haunted, or what is going on? Sounds really cool. Sounds like a fun story. So this is a original graphic novel story.
This sounds like an unused Metalocalypse script that I really want to watch. Okay, so this is Last Comic Book on the Left. This is being edited and curated by the Last Podcast on the Left crew and people. This is a mix of comedy and horror. It is going to be 120 pages for $19.99. So this is original graphic novel, never came out individually. This is the first chance for you to get this.
And this looks really cool. This is a Blondie trade paperback Against the Odds. So this is going to be part biography and part just energy artwork revolving around their songs. So they're supposed to do artistic interpretations of 10 Blondie songs. So if you are a Blondie fan, this is $25. It's going to be pretty cool, I think.
We've got to get this. We're always playing Blondie around the shop. So, yeah.
Okay, and then wanted to let you know about Star Wars Insider issue 212. This is exciting because it's the Chrysanthemum issue with an interview with the actor Kerry Jones that plays him. This is our just newsstand cover, and check out this previews exclusive cover. Very cool. Don't want to miss this one.
I like it. It's everyone against Chrysanthemum, and he's winning.
And he's still winning.
Yep, King of the Hill. All right, that is our show for today.
Yes, like we said, pretty small this week because no DC. It is a holiday weekend, and we do hope you guys enjoy your holiday. Make sure to get your orders in to us by Sunday. Check with your comics store. Make sure you get what you need, and hopefully the show helped you. If it did, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like Jason said, just a few away from hitting the next mark. And we're on Instagram and whatnot as well. So we will see you guys next time.